We are going to, let's advance the slide here. Here's a quick overview of what we're going to be talking about today. The GASB has been working on revised standards for public sector pension plans for quite some time. And we're going to highlight what we think are four key game changers that come out of the exposure drafts that have been issued. The first is placing the net pension liability on the balance sheet. The second is a separation or decoupling of expense from funding for public sector plans. The third is the whole question of how to account for cost-sharing plans. And then we'll say a little bit about an expansion of disclosure information. This is both for the employers and for the plans themselves. Then we'll go into a couple of misconceptions that we think are floating around regarding the exposure draft, what it says and what it doesn't say. And then we'll try to highlight some of the implications and then close with what are the next steps in GASB's process. Now, the activity to date, the gestation of this project goes back now over 5 years, in that in January 2006, the whole issue of accounting and financial reporting for public sector pension plans was added to GASB's research agenda. They did some focus groups around the country. It became on their official project plan in April 2008. And then for each of the last 3 summers, including the current one, we've had some GASB work to do. In 2009, they issued an invitation to comment, which really gave them a chance to survey the industry on some of the core concepts that had to be resolved in developing this new guidance. And then in 2010, they issued the preliminary views. Now, it's an indication of what a major overhaul this is, that before going to the exposure draft level, they did what are called preliminary views. They got the comments on all that and had hearings on that in the fall of 2010. And now we have the official exposure drafts. And there are 2. Those of you familiar with governmental accounting for pensions are aware that there are really 2 statements you have to deal with. Employer accounting is dealt with in statement number 27, which is substantially revised in one of the 2 exposure drafts. And then the financial reporting for the plans themselves is covered under statement number 25. That is also being substantially revised. So with that in mind, I'd like to ask Kim to sort of give us some background and some setup in terms of what are the goals and objectives that GASB is trying to accomplish with this revision of these rules.